I've said it earlier, but be careful what you're complaining about, because there's somebody out there wishing that they had even just a little bit of what you have. And it's true. It's so true. We take life for granted and take the things we have for granted. And one way to get out of that little rut and hole is to start being thankful and grateful for what you do have. And I strongly, firmly believe in that.
Rodeo time.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, catch up on all the old episodes, and check out the latest. You're going to like it. Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. My next guest has had some of the highest highs, some of the lowest lows. He's been an inspiration to so many people, especially after those lows, just the way he's fought back and the way he's living his life now. I'd like to welcome JR Vezain. JR, thanks for joining me, man.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor. Thanks for having me. I vowed a long time ago, if I ever got the chance to share my story and have a chat and hopefully inspire and encourage, that I would. So thanks for having me.
There's so much out there in life, like you said, people complaining about, this or that and taking it for granted. And again, I wish more people, me especially, were more like you as far as going out there and living each day and knowing and not taking it for granted. And going to your injury, what I know, listening again to my wife's podcast with Shelby, the injury didn't sever your spinal cord, but it pushed bone fragments onto it. Is that correct?
So it's chance fracture, meaning broke T10 horizontally all the way through that vertebrae and shifted the spine. So pinched the spinal cord at T10. So right at my belly button, basically.
Mm-hmm. And from what I've read and just kind of followed, are you starting to get a little bit of feeling? Because I had a buddy, Russ Weidel, steer wrestling injury, horse threw him off the back end, broke his neck, and he's from the chest down, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure if it was severed or not, but they said the spinal cord it could heal, but it's like millimeters every year or something like that. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but is there a chance where this keeps kind of working itself back down?
You know me, if you've listened to this at all, I'll say absolutely.
Right.
I quit doing research on it too, because you'll wear yourself into a hole if you don't recover like the book says you should recover.
Mm-hmm.
But so you go into spinal shock the first 30 to 90 days, and then they say you'll see the most healing within the first year. So the first year, I had, I can feel, it doesn't feel the same. It's different feel, but down to my hips, can kind of feel touch and stuff at my belly button and that sort of thing. And then started getting some movement back too. So my hip flexors, I can control hip flexors, and I can crawl, do some of those things. But as far as hard as I've worked at it, as many things as I've done, absolutely. I feel like I should be way farther along than I am, but I haven't ever given up. I've studied a lot of people in this situation, and I've never studied anybody that's still in a chair. I've studied a lot of people that beat it, and I've called them, and I've asked them, and I've reached out to them, and all of them have their own little secret potion that worked. But one thing that they all have in common is that they never gave up. Every single day they tried. And I've met them. Braxton Nielsen is a buddy of mine that I keep in contact with that was walking again in 3 months.
Yeah.
And I've met a guy that it was 27 years later that he walked. So the God I believe in is the same today as he was yesterday, as he will be forever. He performed miracles then, and he still performs miracles now. So don't tell me there isn't a chance. Because that's my mentality. It honestly is. I don't care if it takes me another 25 years. Every single day I'm going to try. And I'm at a spot now where even if it doesn't, I'm still going to love and serve the Lord. And I'm okay mentally if it doesn't happen. I've surrendered that. Like that's not what is going to make me successful. That's not going to make me what has a purpose. But I also every single day am going to try until my try runs out, and either I'm going to be walking again or I'm going to run out of try. So.
Well, I don't see you running out of try. And, somebody else that I'd had on the show, Amberly Schneider, I don't know the similarities of the injuries, but, she's back on her barrel horse, been back, riding and competing and doing all that. And, that type of try, I think, and again, you talked about it in America. I wish our country can get that kind of try that you guys have to get better and move forward and keep pushing.
Well, here's my question. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like that's kind of one of my mainstay statements is every single day I wake up, try to wiggle my toes. And if they wiggle, sweet. And if they don't, you roll out of bed and get busy. Yeah. I can lay in bed and complain about it all day, complain about your life. But what good does that do? All it does is make you sad and depressed, and life sucks,
Right.
And I know because I've tried.
Yeah, so, right.
What are you going to do? You're going to wake up, try to wiggle your toes. If they wiggle, sweet. If not, get out of bed and get busy,
Keep going. And keep moving forward. No matter keep moving forward, no matter how many inches, feet, yards, miles you get, you keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Well, so we're going to go back 2018, Shelby pregnant 3 weeks. You guys found out 3 weeks before the injury. Man, again, I got emotional driving the tractor, listening to Lindsay's podcast with her. And you and I talked about it. A lot of people don't know her side of it, don't know her story, what she's done from the day of the wreck till this point now, and what she's meant to you and your family and your little boy. And, again, I've been hurt. I've had Lindsay to help me, but Shelby has been absolutely amazing.
Oh my gosh. It's life is crazy, isn't it?
Oh, and man.
Each day is a blessing. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so make the most of today. And everybody thinks that I'm a rock star and everybody thinks that I'm tough, but you definitely should go listen to that podcast, and you definitely should meet my wife. It's been crazy. It's she's a rock star. I've been encouraging her. Actually, she needs to share her story more because her story is just as inspiring as my story is. And
100%.
To still be with me is a miracle and is a true blessing. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said it's all been roses and lollipops. It's been hard. It's been tough. We've had to learn how to love differently and work through the same thing, but so does every marriage. It's I've never seen a marriage happen or been to a wedding that says when you get married, this relationship is easy. It's not easy. And I am very, very fortunate that my wife meant business when we did those vows of for better or worse or until death do us part. And
she damn sure did.
And and it's been tested and it's been tried, and here she is still making me better and still being my rock and still picking me up on days that are my rough days and me doing the same for her. And we have that partnership and that friendship and that love for each other that
you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have.
Yeah. And it's not, I don't know. I think I've never really been a marriage counselor or told people they should aspire to have a relationship like ours, but I definitely hope that people in relationships can have a friendship like we have, because she truly is my best friend. And I've had a lot of really good friends in my days, but she's been the one here that's had to, I won't get into all the nasty details of paralysis, but she's had to go through some stuff, man, and had to put put up with me being a turd and put up with me being a butthole,
Right.
honestly. And she stuck it out, and she's picked me up. She's my rock, man. And there's really no other opinion that I care about that as I do hers. And she's solid, man. I can't say enough about her. She's a rock star.
Well, and I know like even Lindsay's and my relationship, you always rodeo cowboys seem to always go through rough spells with their wives and just and here's the reason why, in my opinion, because rodeo is such a selfish lifestyle. When I left, even when we got married, I had one goal, and that was to be a world champion. That was it. That was priority. So Lindsay, we rodeoed together. Well, we got married, and then I won my first championship in '04. That same year we got married. And then, after that, I was like, okay, I got one. I'm going to go get some more. Well, it was rodeo and then Lindsay. And to say it's selfish is kind of an understatement. And I guess she understood it because she's still with me. She still supported me. She knew what my goals were. And even the older I got, when we started having kids, I had to step back and reevaluate my life as a rodeo cowboy, because I didn't want rodeo to take so much control of me that I lost the importance of a family and a wife and a best friend. And it'll do that to a person. And if you don't have the right partner like you do and like I do, I wouldn't be where I'm at. That's for damn sure.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
you know,
Well, and that's the thing about rodeo, dude. It has to be that way.
yeah,
I mean, it's freaking dog eat dog world. And not that our world is so different than other worlds. I think tycoon business worlds and there's a lot of worlds that are the same, but I know rodeo. I know the rodeo world, and it has to be.
right,
It has to be dog eat dog, and it has to be sacrifice and selfish, and if that becomes your idol, it can kill a lot of the other things in your life. And it's no right, wrong, indifferent. It's just the way of the world and the
right.
way of the rodeo world. And 100% right. I'd be lying if I didn't say my rodeo world was any different. I mean, it is what it is. You have to go to the next one,
Yeah,
and finances are tight. So no, you can't come this weekend. I got to
right,
jump in with the boys because we're all splitting costs,
right,
and I'll see you in a month.
right. Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is,
Yeah,
and it has to be that way. What where I was very fortunate is I didn't even know that I had that solid of a wife when I married her. I just married a hot chick that had a bigger ranch than I had, that I loved, as like the first real chick in my life that I actually loved. And I she was my pard, she was my friend, she was my best friend. And to my love has grown even deeper. I know I'm going to get mushy, but my love's grown even deeper watching her put up with me and stick through it here, because I've given her that chance. I'm like,
yeah,
you go ahead and leave. I know I mean, you talk about freaking check your soulmate. Like, she all of a sudden has to start doing chores that I do. And we've had to figure out a lot of life,
yeah,
and go downstairs in this 1900 house with a crawl space basement to check the water heater and take out the garbage. And honey, I can't lift that bell. Here, can you? And no, I can't. I'm not strong enough. Don't be a pussy. Yeah, you can. Like, I mean, she has to do a lot of the jobs that I used to do.
right.
And that that's tough on a marriage, and that's tough on a man.
Yeah,
It's tested me, and I've had to swallow a lot of pride. And here, I'll trade you. I'll fold the laundry if you do this. And it's weird. It's life. It's grown me. It's grown her. It's grown us together. But I've given her that chance here. I think that I think you deserve better, and I think you deserve somebody that can help you better than I can. And her go, no, you're the only one that can help me, is has been huge in my life, and is the only reason I have the attitude I have, and is the only reason I'm where I'm at today.
Well, and I think having a wife and a best friend, and really to me, that's what it is. It's you're married to your best friend. That's how life, and that's how it should be. Because you think about the lifestyle we've lived, the sacrifices they've went through. But you go back before marriage, you go to high school, go to grade school, whatever. If you had a best friend and you treated them the way we treated, or way I treated my wife, because I was focused on rodeo, we wouldn't have that best friend for very long.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
they're the reason that we are who we are, they made us who we are. In your situation, when you were rodeoed and now post injury, you know, that's the reason you're still moving forward. I mean, it could have been just as easy, say she did leave you. And thank God she didn't, for your sake and for everybody's sake. But if she left you, you know what I mean? Or if
Oh,
Lindsay left me,
who
I
the
don't,
heck knows?
you
Yeah.
know, and that's the thing. That's the crazy part about life is, and I don't even like to think about where I'd be. I honestly don't, because it seems like a really, really dark place that I would never in my entire life want to go.
Oh, absolutely. Stuck at the bottom of a bottle. I know where I'd be.
Right. Which is,
Who knows if I'd even still be living,
well,
honestly.
no, exactly right. It's crazy just to even think about that. And so obviously she's the one that, she's the rock. She's solid. I've seen a picture of you guys with your little boy, and you're standing up. You have, it's a robotic, and I don't know the technical term for it, but rat kind of hooks up to your waist, goes down your legs on the outside like a exoskeleton.
Yep.
Is that something you're still using, or?
Yep, exoskeleton. Yeah, it's a great tool that I am very fortunate to have and use. I would say every day, but it's not quite every day, but not far off either. I use it a bunch. It's very liberating tool I have. It's not self-balanced, so it's not very functional as far as be able to strap up and go get a job done. I got to use
Mhm.
arm crutches or a walker to be able to walk with it, but it's posture driven. So Indigo, it's one of the newer companies made in the States. But yeah, it has a hip piece, and then a femur piece, and then a lower leg piece. They all click together and run off an app on my phone. Can change the settings, that sort of thing. But then it's posture driven. You got to act like you're walking, and it assists a step. That was a very humbling situation in my life. I right away when we got hurt, the amount of support was unreal. Was very humbling, very emotional. People helping with medical bills and donating financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of it. But at that stage, I went and did a trial in Houston, and it's the very first day I got up in there, up in the trial deal. I was like, I got to own one of these things. So we started researching it. It was $100,000 to purchase the machine. And we were like, shoot, this is the next thing. I had come home from rehab. We had Riot. I had set up a gym at home. I was still keeping contact with some of my therapists. I actually have Doug Champion hired to send me workouts. And so I was doing that, but it was like, this is the next thing I need to stand up, send the signal. This is what I need. So we were like, I don't care what I got to do. I'll sell the cows, go whatever we got to do to get this thing bought. And Lori O'Haver with Bronc Ride Nation, she seen us down there at Corpus Christi at the WCRA, asked what we were doing. Long story short, she secretively went and said, put a fundraiser together. Western Sports Foundation bailed in and paid for half. And at Mitch Pollock's Bronc match, they finished raising the money. And it was very emotional, humbling spot for me, because right away when I got hurt and you had that influx of support that's kind of not in a greedy or a non-grateful sense, but that's expected, right? I mean, when shock happens in the rodeo world, everybody bands together to help them out, and it's just who we are. It's what we do. And so I was super, super thankful for that, and it bailed us out of $500,000 worth of medical bills. But 3 years later, to see people giving their hard-earned dollar to support a dream, passion, desire of mine was very, very humbling. And it wasn't something I asked for. It wasn't something I even tried to get. And to see that amount of support and love, people I didn't know help support that and raise the money to help me get that set of legs actually super inspired me and encouraged me to be able to pay it forward someday. And I got some things in the work trying to start a 501c3 to be able to do that for others. And because there's been three materialistic things in my life that have changed my life since the wreck. And that was that set of legs being donated or fundraised for to help me get the track chair that the Gilbert's Diamond G Rodeo, they gave me a track chair, it's a stand-up chair that is electric, that I actually can get a job done in. It gets around everywhere through the mud, snow, whatever, and can actually get a job done in. And they donated that to me also. And then the cow horse deal, that guy making the phone call, and that wasn't donated. I bought that horse with my own money, but that phone call to say, hey, let's go chase a dream. Those three materialistic things have changed my life and kept me moving in the right direction and kept me stepping forward. And I want to be able to do that for other people because I get it. I know what it's like to be at that crossroads of throwing the white towel in and giving up. And those people, I can't say thank you enough or pay them back enough for not only the materialistic thing, but what they did inside of me was I can't give up now because I have this many people out here believing in me still, and
More
it's
motivation.
no different when you're rodeoing, when you're 16th in the world and you've already made the finals and now you're 16th in the world. You have that many people believing in you that you can and will do it again, and even if you don't get it accomplished that year, next year, they still believe in you. And to still feel that outside of rodeo after the wreck, to still feel people go, hey, I'll help you chase your dream, I'll help you chase a passion, was something truly I can't even put words on, that sparked the flame inside of me to keep trying. So,
well, like I said, it's your tries and inspiration. It should be to most of the world. My last surgery, my hamstring, they're in the physical therapy. They're back in California. There was a gentleman that was, and I don't know the extent of his injury, but he had the exoskeleton. They were actually building his muscle up, and they were putting him in it and helping him walk. And it was crazy. See, they had wires like hooked up maybe to his head. And I'm assuming it must be a little different one for sending electrical signals down to help move. But just watching, and it was a 4-month deal. I got to see this guy progress to where they had to help him up. They had to help him walk. Then he had the walker to walk. And then I think one of my last visits, I got to watch him walk on his own without any assistance. And hell, I got emotional watching that just to see what it took for him to get to that point.
Oh yeah. It's, I oftentimes, whenever I'm having a bad day, reflect back to rehab hospitals, because you want to be inspired, go to a rehab hospital. There was, right away, obviously, Shelby said she was pregnant, expecting our first one. And 3 weeks later I was hurt. So you have those fears and doubts, and how am I going to be able to be a dad? And how am I going to be able to throw the ball and hold my own kid and all the things? And right away at Houston, there's guys with traumatic brain injuries that didn't even know their newborn kid. And there was people that were quads that couldn't use their hands, that had to put pillows in their laps to be able to hold their brand new babies. And So oftentimes whenever I'm having a bad day, I reflect back on times in rehab hospitals, and it's nuts, man. Yeah, I've said it earlier, but be careful what you're complaining about, because there's somebody
Yeah.
out there wishing that they had even just a little bit of what you have. And it's true. It's so true. We take life for granted and take the things we have for granted. And one way to get out of that little rut and hole is to start being thankful and grateful for what you do have. And I strongly, firmly believe in that. And the technology is crazy. There was equipment I was using that were full on robots that you just got up in and walked on a treadmill. There's the Vector machine, which is like a bungee hoist that helped bear the weight that you could walk on. There's the exoskeletons, and I have one now, and mine, it was compatible to the next step of them is hooking up electrical stim to it, and
Right.
this sort of thing. There's a deal in France that they're starting to get self-balanced, and epidural stimulators. They're going in and putting stuff in a little microchip in the spinal column that acts as an amplifier that sends the signal. And they're starting to get people up and standing and walking on their own again with this epidural stimulator. So who knows, man? The technology's crazy. It's always evolving. People are striving, trying to come up with a cure to help guys in my situation. But just the liberating fact, like, even though it's not self-balanced and I have to use arm crutches and a walker and whatever else, it just to be able to get up, go stretch my legs, go walk up the road, go walk with my boy, go walk over to the horse pens and even just look at them, even if I don't get to get in there and rope them or whatever, just to go look at them, man, it's super liberating and super fresh breath of air to be able to get up and go and send the signal. And it's kind of my mainstay on it is the whole thing with recovery is trying to figure out how to get those nerves to regrow, regenerate, and reroute, I guess, for lack of better terms. And every single day trying is what makes that happen. And just to be able to get up and go send the signal is great for me.
Yeah. And you said it right there, just to be able to get up and walk with your boy down the road. I mean, I don't even have words for that, because it's just, it inspires me to be a better person, you know, with my kids and in my life. Just your whole story, yours and Shelby's story, and the way you guys have had to, I guess, completely change your whole lives and be who you are now. And man, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I know you've done podcasts and stuff like that before, but man, this is, again, for me, my personal self right here. It's meant so much to me to hear you say it and be able to share it with the folks that haven't heard it. And again, help change my perspective on life. Again, thank you very much.
Man, you're welcome, first of all, and truly it's an honor. It's one of my big jobs in this whole grand scheme of post-rec, and what my purpose in life is to share my testimony. And without a test, you don't have a testimony. And I believe we all have a purpose in life. I don't care if it's for, and our purpose isn't for us. And I think that's been another huge lesson that I've learned since this wreck, and soul searching that how am I going to provide for a family, and how am I going to be a good dad, that sort of thing. But what I've learned is perspective of life, and how to change my perspective of life. And modern day culture, modern day America, we get so wrapped up in keeping up with the Joneses. And warrior mentality people, rodeo mentality people, gold buckle mentality people. You're all in all the time, 24/7 working at your craft or trade. And we get so wrapped up in that we take away the little moments in life that actually mean the most to us. And this wreck has really taught me how to slow down and appreciate life. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow, so make the most of today. And I'm not saying don't go work and don't go chase your passion and your dream and your desire, but definitely as you do those things, don't take the little things for granted. And check your life. What's truly important to you? Is owning a mansion with a big fancy car, is that truly what's important? Or is enjoying the time with your family and having a story what's important? And to me, having the story is important. So thanks for having me. I'm coming into my own. They're still a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't know why the Lord chose me to have a testimony and to have a story to inspire and encourage, but I hope that's what this does, is inspire and encourage in some way, form or fashion. And whether that's to quit complaining and go chase your dream, or whether that's to slow down and enjoy life, whichever way it inspires you, I hope it does inspire. And the honor, it comes from these things, these podcasts, these interviews are what keep me grounded. Also, they're what makes me put my money where my mouth is. And if a lot of people in life can go preach a word and can go tell you how to do something, but these are what keep me in check and make sure that I'm living what I'm truly saying. And put your money where your mouth is. Don't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And days like today, go get inspired to go chase a dream and strap my legs on and walk with my boy and enjoy it. So thanks for having me.
All right, one more thing before I let you go, JR. And then I know you're still keeping up with all of it because you're just the fan of it. But who's the up and coming, the young gun in the bareback ride? And the thing that's cool about the bareback riding is it seems like there's a lot of new names that we haven't seen that are kicking ass.
Holy smokes, Luke! It doesn't take long out of the rodeo world all of a sudden not know anybody, huh?
Right.
And it's funny. It's funny that you ask. So I am a fan of the sport. Bareback riding to me was the thing that just naturally clicked. I wanted to be nothing but a bull rider when I first started rodeoing, and actually I wanted to be a bronc rider once I started riding broncs through high school and college, because I thought that was the cool cowboy classic event.
Right.
And bareback riding is what clicked, and it is what took off, and it is what afforded the other wants in my life. So I'm a huge bronc riding fan because my brother-in-law Sage Newman is a stud and is going to get a gold buckle here in the near future. And I'll put my money on him. I put my money on him last year, but I'm going to put my money on him again this year that he's going to go get it done this year in the bronc riding. So I am a fan. I do stay in touch. How do you pick a great, right?
Yeah.
As far as up and comers, I'm a huge fan of Sam Peterson. That's a Montana boy that's been to a few schools that I've been a part of. And I'd super like Sam to go crack the gates and show the world what he's made of, because that kid has the try. He's got the want to. He's got the work ethic, and I think he's got the skills to be there and be in contention for a gold buckle. As far as other up and comers, how do you not pick a new guy? The Jaco Ropers, the Jacob Lees, those young kids, man, they're getting so good. And especially in the bareback riding, it's been a huge transformation and shift. Bronc riding has really seen it. Bronc riding super deep. There's 40 of those guys that on any given day can win. And bareback riding in my time, it used to be the top 10 consistently made it year in and year out. And the Bobby Moats, the Stephen Dent, the Ryan Gray, the Will Lowe, those guys always made it. And then there was the bottom 5 that were the new guys. And now look at it. You got Rocker Steiner in the top 5. You got Tim O'Connell scratching and clawing to stay in the top 5. You got Keenan Hayes. How do you not like Keenan Hayes? I mean, the guy's an animal, man. And to have made it on his permit, he had enough money to win, to be in the top 5 on his permit. So how can you not be a Keenan Hayes fan to go out there, all out and ride the Dragons, you know? But the talent is getting so deep, and it's cool to see. It's cool to watch. It's cool to see it transform into bigger and better. And I'm a huge fan. I hope it keeps going. Cowboy Channel's been great for the sport, and all the other associations pushing and striving and trying to make the PRCA be better has been nothing but great for the sport. So more money, more cowboys, more kids that want to come learn how to do it, I think you're just going to continue to watch the trend grow, and I'm stoked to see it. But to answer the question, new kid that I want to see do good is little old Sam Peterson. I hope he strikes her big and gets to go play with them.
Well, it's looking like it might be a year for him to get there. So, JR, I appreciate it, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys. I don't know if you'll be down in Vegas or not, but man, best of luck. I know you're getting after it every day and inspiring me to stay after what I need to get done. So, thank you again for coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks, buddy.